Have you ever noticed how some people can never fully relax, even when nothing bad is happening? They overthink tiny changes in people's tone. They apologize constantly. They feel guilty resting. They stay mentally alert during completely normal conversations. And even during calm moments, their nervous system still feels tense, like something is about to go wrong. The strange part is, most of them don't even realize their brain is stuck in survival mode, because survival mode doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it just looks like being emotionally exhausted all the time for reasons you can't explain, and this is where it gets psychologically interesting. A lot of people imagine survival mode as panic attacks or obvious stress, but often it becomes so normal that your brain mistakes it for your personality. You think, I'm just an overthinker. I've always been like this. This is just who I am. But often, your brain is not broken. It's adapting. One of the biggest signs your brain is stuck in survival mode is that you constantly scan for emotional changes around you. Someone replies differently, a friend seems quieter, a conversation feels slightly awkward, and instantly your brain starts investigating. Did I do something wrong? Are they upset? Should I fix this? Most people notice emotional shifts occasionally, but survival mode brains monitor them constantly because your nervous system learned that emotional unpredictability could become emotionally unsafe. And once your brain learns that uncertainty might lead to rejection, criticism, conflict, or disappointment, it starts trying to predict problems before they happen. That's why some people cannot relax until everyone around them seems emotionally okay. And honestly, that becomes exhausting. Another major sign is that rest no longer feels restful. You finally have free time. Nobody needs anything from you. The day is technically calm, but your mind still races. You grab your phone immediately. You start doom scrolling. You suddenly remember every unfinished task in your life. And here's what most people miss. Sometimes constant mental activity is not productivity. Sometimes it's nervous system avoidance, because when your brain spends too long in stress mode, silence itself can start feeling uncomfortable. Your nervous system becomes so used to stimulation that calmness feels unfamiliar, and unfamiliar things feel unsafe to survival mode brains. This is also why some people feel guilty while resting. They sit down for 10 minutes and immediately feel like they should be doing something useful, not because they're lazy, because their nervous system associates slowing down with vulnerability. Another huge sign is over-explaining yourself constantly. People in survival mode often feel the need to explain everything: why they were late, why they didn't reply sooner, why they sounded weird, why they need space, even when nobody asked for an explanation. And the reason is surprisingly emotional. Your brain is trying to prevent misunderstanding before it happens, because somewhere along the way, being misunderstood started feeling emotionally unsafe. So now your nervous system treats clarity like protection. And honestly, this is why survival mode can sometimes look like perfectionism, not because the person wants to be perfect, because mistakes feel emotionally expensive. Another sign is that you struggle to feel emotionally present around people. You might laugh normally, participate normally, look completely fine externally, but internally, your brain is still monitoring, still analyzing, still adjusting, still calculating how you're being perceived. Am I talking too much? Do they seem bored? Was he that awkward? And eventually, social interaction starts feeling less like connection and more like performance. That's why some people leave social situations feeling emotionally drained even when everything technically went well. Their nervous system never stopped working the entire time, and modern life makes this so much worse. Human beings were never designed for permanent emotional accessibility. Your phone follows you everywhere now. Notifications interrupt your thoughts constantly. Conversations never fully end, so survival mode brains never fully switch off. There's always another message, another expectation, another emotional calculation waiting. And eventually, ordinary communication starts feeling emotionally heavy. This leads to another massive sign. Small things overwhelm you emotionally. A delayed reply changes your mood. A short text makes you overthink. A tiny conflict stays in your head for hours. And logically, part of you knows you're reacting too intensely. But survival mode is not logical. It's protective. Your nervous system is trying to prevent emotional pain before it happens. The problem is, eventually, your brain starts reacting to possibilities instead of realities. And that creates constant invisible stress. Now here's where it gets deeper psychologically. A lot of survival mode behaviors originally started as coping mechanisms. Maybe you grew up needing to monitor people's moods carefully. Maybe emotional peace felt unpredictable. Maybe conflict felt overwhelming. Maybe staying hyper-aware helped you avoid emotional pain. So your brain adapted. It became emotionally alert, careful, watchful. At first, those patterns probably protected you, but coping mechanisms are strange. They solve one problem while quietly creating another, because eventually your nervous system stops distinguishing between actual danger and emotional discomfort, and suddenly everyday life starts feeling emotionally exhausting. This is why people stuck in survival mode rarely feel truly safe emotionally. Even during calm moments, even around people they love, part of their brain is still bracing for impact, still preparing, still monitoring, still waiting for something to go wrong. And after a while, that kind of constant tension becomes your normal baseline. You stop noticing how exhausted you actually are. Until one day you feel emotionally numb, mentally drained, disconnected, restless, or burnt out for reasons you cannot fully explain. And honestly, I think this is why so many people secretly feel exhausted by life, even when they should be okay. Because survival mode is not always loud. Sometimes it looks like overthinking everything. Sometimes it looks like emotional withdrawal. Sometimes it looks like needing constant distraction because silence feels uncomfortable. And once you recognize these patterns, something important shifts. You stop seeing yourself as weak, lazy, dramatic, or too sensitive, because maybe your brain isn't broken, maybe it's tired, maybe your nervous system has simply been protecting you for so long that it forgot how to stop. And this is the hopeful part people rarely hear. Brains adapt, nervous systems learn. Survival mode is not your permanent identity. Safe experiences genuinely change people over time, usually not through dramatic breakthroughs, but slowly, quietly, through repeated moments where your brain realizes, I don't need to stay emotionally braced right now. That's why emotionally safe people feel so different sometimes. People who don't pressure you emotionally, people who let silence exist naturally, people around whom your nervous system finally softens instead of tightening. Those relationships feel calming because your brain temporarily stops preparing for emotional impact every second. And maybe that's what healing actually starts looking like. Not becoming fearless overnight, but slowly teaching your nervous system the difference between real danger and emotional discomfort, because they are not always the same thing. If you recognize yourself somewhere in this video, especially the feeling of constantly being mentally alert, emotionally tired, or unable to fully relax, I hope you understand something important. Your brain is not trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you using patterns it learned a long time ago. So maybe the next time you catch yourself overthinking tiny things or emotionally scanning rooms, pause for a second and ask yourself, honestly, is this actually danger? Or is my nervous system just expecting it? Because those are not always the same thing. And if this kind of psychology content helps you understand yourself a little more clearly, subscribe to Psyche Simplified. New videos every week exploring the hidden emotional patterns behind overthinking, loneliness, relationships, emotional exhaustion, and the psychology of the human mind.